By the authority given in the statutes of the Open University, I declare this congregation open for the conferment of degrees and the presentation of graduates. Distinguished guests, graduates, friends of the university, it is my honour, privilege and pleasure to welcome you all to the 8th of the Open University's degree ceremonies being held in 2017. It is my great pleasure to welcome our honorary graduand, Professor Dame Athene Donald. We are delighted to be able to honour her today. During the past year, the Open University has awarded over 20,000 qualifications, ranging from Certificate of Higher Education to Doctor of Philosophy. And throughout 2017, more than 8,000 graduates are being presented for their qualifications at degree ceremonies such as this one today in Ely. Ceremonies are being held in 12 different towns and cities throughout England and also in Belfast, Cardiff, Edinburgh and Dublin. This illustrates the extraordinary scale, scope and reach of the Open University. And I'm particularly proud to be here today for my first day of being presiding officer at the Open University ceremonies. And no matter where other ceremonies may be across Britain over the coming year, I don't think anywhere will have a more stunning setting than this cathedral. It goes without saying that today is a very important occasion in the life of you, our graduates, your families and loved ones, as well as the university staff, who I hope you will feel have nurtured and supported you as you've studied with us. And so you could be forgiven for thinking that the occasion is so important in such an impressive venue that it needs to be solemn. But you'd be quite wrong. In every sense, this is a day for celebration. So we will be very disappointed if anyone crosses the stage today to anything less than thunderous applause or whatever other noisy way you choose to express your enthusiasm and support. And I'm hoping that this evening's ceremony we're going to be even louder than this afternoon. I think that would be great. So with that in mind, can I ask all of today's graduates to briefly stand? Friends, families, OU staff colleagues, let's start today's ceremony by giving all of these amazing graduates a huge round of applause. Now we've started to embarrass you, you can sit down for a minute and then we'll carry on shortly. And whoever it is who's got that really good whistle, you need to catch me afterwards and teach me how to do it. There's one more way that you can show your appreciation to your graduate. If you post messages or photos on social media today, please use the hashtag OU_ceremonies. And that way you'll be sharing your congratulations and celebrations with the world outside, as well as everyone who's here today and able to be at the ceremony. So we'll start this evening's ceremony with presentations of graduates who have gained higher degrees and first degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Engineering and Bachelor of Laws and have been able to attend here today. And those graduates will be presented by Mr. Martin Kenwood, Assistant Director from Academic Services. We will then see the awarding of the honorary degree of Doctor of the University to Professor Dame Athene Donald. And Professor Sally Jordan, who is our head of school in the Faculty of Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics, will present Professor Donald, who will then sign the honorary graduate's book here and make a reply. We'll then continue with our presentation of graduates who have gained Bachelor of Science degrees, foundation degrees and diplomas of higher education who have been able to attend here today. And to conclude the ceremony, I'll give a personal address to the graduates. So I now call upon Mr. Kenwood to present the graduates.
Executive Dean, I shall now present graduates who have gained higher degrees and have been able to attend here today. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, I present to you, for a thesis entitled Extrasolar Planetary Atmospheres and Interior Structure, Implications for Observational Signatures, Victoria Bonding. And for a thesis entitled Interactive Demand Shifting in the Context of Domestic Microgeneration, Jackie Bourgeois. And for a thesis entitled Reliability of Automotive Transmission Bearings, Gerardo Carvajal. And for a thesis entitled Assessing and Improving Rational Antimicrobial Use in Urban and Rural Healthcare Facilities in Vietnam, Nunga Dudo. And for a thesis entitled Discovering and Monitoring Antarctic Wildlife Populations by Remote Sensing, Peter Fretwell. And for a thesis entitled Gold Nanoparticles as a Delivery System of Oligonucleotides into the Brain, Radka Gromnikova. And for a thesis entitled Geochemical Insights into Crustal Melting in the Bhutan Himalaya, Thomas Hopkinson. And for a thesis entitled Understanding the Structure and Role of Academics' Ego Networks on Social Networking Sites, Catherine Jordan. And for a thesis entitled Making Digital History, the Impact of Digitality on Public Participation and Scholarly Practices in Historical Research, Mia Ridge. And for a thesis entitled Semantic Sentiment Analysis of Microblogs, Hassan Saif. And for a thesis entitled Explaining Data Patterns Using Knowledge from the Web of Data, Ilaria Tiddy. And for a thesis entitled Understanding and Telling Stories Across Online and Real-World Cultural and Historical Artifacts, Anika Wolf. And for the degree of Doctorate in Education, I present to you, for a thesis entitled Exploring the Nature of Student Consumerism at Post-Secondary Institutions in British Columbia, Canada, Edwin James. And for a thesis entitled On the Scope of Digital Vocabulary Trainers for Learning in Distance Education, Suzanne Winchester. I present to you, for the degree of Master of Arts in Education, Alicia Arthey. Lucy Hams. For the degree of Master of Arts in English with distinction, I present Ian Wilkinson. For the degree of Master of Arts in English, I present Mohammed Alam. Chad Leslie. Sarah Vonobes. For the degree of Master of Arts in History, I present Kieran Nolan. Victoria Rust. For the degree of Master of Arts in Online and Distance Education, I present Nicola Dowson. Robert Farrow. Laura Hollinshead. For the degree of Master of Business Administration, I present Roger Arujo. Amrit Bordavaj. Andy Bora. Emily Della Cortez. Soraya Landini. Srividya Venkataraman. Rami Zuwaini. For the degree of Master of Education, I present Emma O'Kelly. Elizabeth Scott. Claire Skyme. Katie Thomas. Stuart Wright. For the degree of Master of Engineering, I present Steve Adicott. For the degree of Master of Science in Advancing Healthcare Practice, I present Susanna Almeida Novo. Tracy Sutherland. For the degree of Master of Science in Computing for Commerce and Industry, I present Andrew Murphy. John Owen. Ed Timmins. For the degree of Master of Science in Development Management, I present Lois Momo. For the degree of Master of Science in Environmental Management, I present Bryony Sutcliffe. For the degree of Master of Science in Psychology, I present Tommy Kiriakou. For the degree of Master of Science in Science with Distinction, I present Emily Gower. For the degree of Master of Science in Science, I present Denise Gibson. Freya Scotes. And for the degree of Master of Science in Software Development, I present Dennis McCulloch. Executive Dean, I shall now present graduates who have gained Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Engineering, and Bachelor of Laws degrees, and have been able to attend here today. The full subject details are printed in the insert within the ceremony programme. I present, for the degree of Bachelor of Arts with First Class Honours, Sue Davies. Sheena Dukers. Sam Downey. Scott Gotham. Aiko Hiramatsu. Jane James. Roxanne Jones. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts with Honours, I present Julie Bailey. Lynn Bird. Thomas Bonnet. Mark Bullock. Samuel Carter. Stephanie Catton. Florence Cook. Barbara Cosi. Sarah Cray. Ray Darcy. Sarah Doyle. Emma Gallagher. Carolyn Gibson Hill. Jane Grand. Ritesh Garung. Luna Guthrie. Nicola Hardstaff. Sarah Hare. Sophie Harris. Kerry Harvey. Stephen Hastings. Julia Holston. Lisa Johnson. Jane Littlejohn. Adrienne Lowing. Kerry Madden. Claire Matlas. Paul Maxwell Keyes. Stephen McIntyre. Emmett Owens. Judith Palmer. Layla Palmer. Christopher Pattle. Paula Preston. Alejandro Rios Artuso. Catherine Rivet. Sally Roberts. Suzanne Rose. Frank Rowley. Jane Silk. Annetta Simpson Kent. Katie Sixsmith. Annetta Smith. Emily Smith. Brian Stanley. Laura Taylor. Maria Thomas. Beverly Webb. Heather Weston. Karen Woolton. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts, I present Robert Jenner. Rachel Saville. For the degree of Master of Laws, I present Saroj Sharma Nepal. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Social Work with honours, I present Sally Louise Marshall. Carmen Owens. For the degree of Bachelor of Engineering with First Class Honours, I present Noelia Payro. Paul Stevens. Matthew Wallock. For the degree of Bachelor of Engineering with honours, I present Tegan Foster. Shane Kelly. Louise Lally. Willem van Rooyen. Neil Human. And for the degree of Bachelor of Laws with honours, I present Sarah Taylor.
Executive Dean, colleagues, graduates, guests. Professor Dame Athena Donald is one of the UK's preeminent scientists who has made pioneering advances in her own field, enriched public scientific debate, and is an influential advocate for women in science. Athene studied natural sciences at Girton College, Cambridge, before gaining her PhD in physics. After postdoctoral work at Cornell University in the USA, Athene returned to the Cavendish Laboratory in Cambridge, where she has worked ever since. Initially, Athene made her name through her innovative research on synthetic polymers, and she continues to focus on the relationship between the structure of polymers and their function. Her work sits at the intersection between physics and biology, especially as applied to soft matter, everything from food to plants to mammalian cells. And she has helped to develop specialized imaging and microscopy techniques. She has more than 250 academic papers to her name, in which physics is often applied in unusual and unconventional ways. Now Professor of Experimental Physics, Athene is also Master of Churchill College, Cambridge, and a Deputy Vice-Chancellor. An outstanding champion for women in science, Athene was the first female lecturer in the Cambridge Physics Department when she was appointed in 1985, and she has consistently sought to encourage, support, and mentor other women at all stages of their careers. She was a director of the Cambridge University's Women in Science, Engineering, Technology programme, served as the university's gender equality champion, and chaired the gender equality group. For 5 years, she chaired the National Athenas Forum, which aims to tackle the problems experienced by women working in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. She continues to draw attention to the issues that face women and girls in science, such as prejudice in the laboratory, unconscious bias, and imposter syndrome. And in doing so, is helping to bring about practical and positive change for a new generation of scientists. As one of the nation's most important and accessible scientific communicators, Athene writes a well-known blog and contributes to various newspapers on scientific topics and diversity issues. She now invests a great deal of her time in public engagement and outreach, increasing public awareness and enriching debate about science. Athene also plays an important leadership role in the wider scientific community. She is a Fellow of the Royal Society and sits on the advisory board of the Science Museum in London and the Scientific Council of the European Research Council. She's also an advisor to the UK government on scientific education and diversity in science. Athene's work has been honoured many times within the scientific community and beyond. She's won a series of prizes from the Institute of Physics, including the Faraday Gold Medal, as well as from the Royal Society. In 2009, she was the L'Oréal UNESCO Women in Science Laureate for Europe, and the following year was appointed a Dame Commander of the British Empire for services to science. We are delighted to acknowledge her exceptional contributions to higher education, to scientific progress, and to gender equality. Executive Dean, by the authority of the Senate, I present to you for the honorary degree of Doctor of the University, Athene Donald.
Executive Dean, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for that great honour and that embarrassing speech. It is a very great honour to be standing here today, and I thank you most sincerely, and these are just fantastic surroundings in which to be honoured. If I look back to when I was a graduate myself in Cambridge, I felt immensely proud but also relieved to have made it through my degree course and come out the other side in one piece. The idea that I might one day be standing here to be awarded an honorary degree never entered my mind. At that point, I had no clear career plan. Women, by and large, didn't think in terms of careers back then. Nevertheless, I was, and in some senses have continued to be, on a fairly traditional linear trajectory. And I realise for today's graduates, for many of them, that won't have been possible. Now, my mother, who's been much on my mind recently as the first anniversary of her death recently passed, never got to university. Indeed, she left school at 15. After the successive deaths of her parents, I tried to encourage her to enroll with the Open University, and I was disappointed she wouldn't even give it a try. She was around 50 at the time, and I thought she would get immense satisfaction out of stretching her brain and returning to the education she felt she had been deprived of by virtue of her gender and the war. But she lacked the confidence even to start. Shortly before her death, she reiterated how it had just seemed a bridge too far for her, rather than an exciting opportunity. And I think it is clear, and I've heard some of the conversations on the platform, I've heard how much many of you have really enjoyed and been excited by the opportunity you have taken. So you clearly thought differently and took that plunge, whatever your background. And I salute you for your determination and congratulate you on your success. I hope that for all of you, the journey you've taken to reach this point has provided you with immense satisfaction, as well as new skills and knowledge. I wish you the very best for whatever your degree now takes you to. Thank you.
Executive Dean, continuing the presentation of graduates, I shall now present those who have gained Bachelor of Science degrees, foundation degrees, and diplomas of higher education, and have been able to attend here today. The full subject details are printed in the insert within the ceremony programme. I present for the degree of Bachelor of Science with first-class honours, Charlotte Alexander. Ian Budd. Sarah Burge. Susanna Burry. Hazel Clutterham. Alison Cooper. Kerry Edwards. Patricia Gallagher. Sam Hanks. James Hatton. Andrew Hill. Lynn Hoppenbrewers. Jim Kieran. Rebecca Reynolds. Ben Sanders. Kevin Singh. Henrietta Willems. For the degree of Bachelor of Science with Honours, I present Duncan Adams. Tom Austin. Sarah Baird. Andrea Bell. Christine Bryant. Amanda Burton. Lorenzo Burresi. Lisa Bush. Stephen Butcher. Sharon Chandler. Loretta Christie Clover. Dawn Corliss. Tara Coy. Victoria Crisp. Ryan Cutter. Kirsty Cutler. Minushka Dainter. Nina Davey. Stephen Duddle. Heidi Earle. Patrick Gargalinski. Tina Godbolt. Marion Grenfell Essam. Paul Hargreaves. Tracy Hempsel. Athelston Herbert. Paul Houghton. Dwayne Howden. Leanne Hunter. Deborah Jackson. Rebecca Johnston. Christopher Kidd. Ruth Kirk. Pedro Knight. Samantha Langston. Paula Lee. Trina Lewis. Julian Liu. Thomas Longman. Amy Lunes. Patrick Macy. Heather McCann. Sophie Moore. Caroline Morley. Louise Curran. Joel Nelson. David O'Neill. Sally Owen. Jean Palmer. Michelle Palmer. Mark Pegler. Deborah Peris. Judith Phillips. Ian Pickles. Naomi Potter. Jessica Preston. Timothy Quinton. Claire Reeves. David Richardson. Jacqueline Rushmer. Sophia Sheikh. Chris Shelmadine. Emma Stacey. Christiane Stokes. Carrie Sumner. Madeleine Thurston. Jared Van Santen. Gerd Wiedemann. Sally Waitman. John White. Elizabeth Wood. Jeffrey Young. For the degree of Bachelor of Science, I present Sadaf Azim. Hannah Down. Eleanor Fitzgerald. Shalita Frost. Caroline Ginner. Ellen Naggs. Leon Martindale. Georgina Prentice. Barbara Schkein. Kevin Sokolingam. Roshan Thapa Marga. Claire Valentine. Mark Wiskin. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Adult Nursing with honours, I present Mark Christmas Oliver. Paula Currell. Joanne Kent. Jimmy Klaskovich. Lorraine Ramnath. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Mental Health Nursing with honours, I present Hayley June. Lynn Eldred. Claudia Price. Sarah Richards. For a foundation degree, I present Paul Craigie. Annette Law. Sarah Wiltshire. And for a Diploma of Higher Education, I present Kasia Bielska. Victoria Jewell. Iona Mead. Tony Obey.
Oh, what a fantastic ceremony, everyone. Guests, members of Senate, staff, and of course our wonderful graduates. This has been a very special day for everyone here, one to remember for the rest of your lives. Of course, it's interesting to stand at the front, not just as my first day of doing degree ceremonies for the Open University, but to see all the different expressions as they come towards me. There may have been a few faces of blind panic, at least one apology for sweaty palms, trust me, I'm used to it, and also lots of people who just looked relieved, excited, thrilled, overjoyed. But it's also really nice to be at the front and see the faces of the audience. Your friends and family graduates are just as excited, probably more excited than some of you are. And unfortunately, given that I'm not allowed to keep this going till 10 o'clock tonight, I didn't talk to everybody, but I did manage to speak to a few of you as you came along. And it's just great to hear those inspiring stories. People who are on their third OU degree, officially titled Glutton for Punishment. People who have done something that they never thought they'd do, a long time after they would perhaps have initially set out to do it. And to hear those stories from everyone and see the joy on people's faces, it's just a fantastic experience. Definitely part of the best job in the world, I think, being up here. Each of you, our graduates, is extraordinary, but together, as a body, you are even more extraordinary. I haven't been at the OU very long, but I firmly believe that you are the most amazing body of graduates anywhere in the UK, probably anywhere in the world. All of you, your friends and supporters, are sharing this auditorium, this wonderful cathedral venue, with the most extraordinary people that you are ever likely to meet. Your family, the friends and supporters that are here today, know the incredible efforts that our graduates go to in achieving their qualifications. But many of you, and probably some of our graduates here today, won't realise just how amazing you are as a body. So I'd like to just take a moment and ask our graduates a few questions so we can discover a bit more about you. And so if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to ask our graduates to raise hands to these questions. So the first question is, who was employed or did voluntary work at some stage during their time studying? Okay, that's a fair sea of hands right there. Who helped to bring up a family during their study? Another sea of hands, and sometimes people who've already put their hand up once as well. Who cared for parents or other dependents during their study? A fair few hands again. And please don't put up your hand if you'd rather not or if it's tricky for you, but who carried out their studies while having a disability? It's great to see some students with disabilities here today, but others are unable to attend. And so the number of hands that we've just seen perhaps underplays the number of disabled students who study with the OU. Overall, we've got over 24,000 students with disabilities. That's not only more disabled students than any other university, but it's more disabled students than some universities have entire student bodies. I think that's really impressive and something that I'm really proud of in working at the OU. As you've just seen, almost every student here has needed to fulfill some other obligation alongside their study. And if you compare that with students at more conventional face-to-face universities, they don't really have often those extra duties beyond maybe the sports team or their commitment to the student bar, perhaps. So our graduates' efforts are so much greater. You are members of a university that truly believes that where you start in life does not limit in any way where you go. And I know that I'm not the only member of the OU staff who gets quite frustrated to hear the words used to describe students like yourselves. Conventional students who are 9 to 5 at their university, if that, are described as full-time students. And OU students like you are called part-time. Part-time? More like double time, I think, when you're studying with the OU and have all these other commitments. You have done a very tough shift indeed, and that makes your achievements, your amazing achievements, all the richer. I think that describes why it's tough to be an OU student, but there is one thing that is tougher than being an OU student, and that's living with an OU student. Many of you, as you came across the stage today, pointed out friends and family members, some of whom I clearly need new glasses to see, but I did wave in the general direction. I know that you believe that your achievement belongs just as much to your family and friends as it does to you. And I know the fantastic support that they've given you. So let's just take a moment to acknowledge those family and friends who are here celebrating with you today, and those who can't be here with you. Those people who've been by your side every step of the way. Let's thank them for supporting and standing by you. So graduates, please do track down your friends and family in the crowd, give them a wave, and let's give them a huge round of applause. I'd also like to thank the other vital group of people who have helped you get here today. And that's my colleagues, the OU's fantastic academics, represented here by colleagues on the platform. Some of these people wrote and presented your courses. Some of them, crucially, were the tutors, we call them associate lecturers, who taught you, made contact with you by phone, online, in tutorials, the people that helped to get you through. And I hope you will agree that they too deserve huge appreciation. All of you, our graduates, are absolutely special. But one of the reasons you're special is the quality of the university you've just graduated from and the standards that we set. And we know these are standards that employers recognise and value. Over 30,000 businesses and organisations in the UK have chosen the Open University to train their staff. And a government survey found that employers, who it turns out aren't as daft as you might imagine, actually did understand that part-time students are hard-working, committed, and self-disciplined. And the employers recognised the importance of supporting employees' study aspirations. So an OU qualification is not just something that's an achievement for you and for your family. It's not just something to be proud of for what you've done in your study. It is also something that is well recognised and well respected. And I hope that those of you who've told me on the platform today that you're thinking about a new job, a change of direction, or you've studied in something where you're already working in looking towards a promotion, following your qualification, just remind your employer about that. You are hardworking, committed, and self-disciplined. And if you're looking for some other things to tell people about the university, of which you're now a graduate and one of our alumni, here are a few more facts that hopefully they will find impressive. In 2013, the Open University led the way again in digital innovation when we set up the UK's first platform for massive open online courses. This is free learning for the world, through an initiative called Future Learn. Since Future Learn was set up, it's gained over 5 million learners around the world, and the platform is being used by other universities, as well as hosting open university material. Those of you who haven't looked at Future Learn or Open Learn, I strongly recommend you go and have a browse on the website. There are some absolutely fascinating courses on there from all over the place on all sorts of interesting subjects, and it's a fantastic resource. Many of you, of course, will be familiar with the Open University's long partnership with the BBC. And whenever you see that Open University shield on the credits at the end of a TV programme, you can be sure that there will be something extra to learn. There'll be something on our website, a leaflet, a brochure, something that will give you more information from the academics who've helped advise on the TV programme. One of those examples recently, having just seen quite a few nurses graduate, seems appropriate to mention, is the documentary Hospital, which gave real insight into the life and death decisions that doctors and nurses make every day. The OU is also doing wonderful work with people who need our help the most. We work with the British Council and deliver academic programmes to displaced Syrian refugees who have had to leave their homes and are temporarily settled in Jordan and Lebanon. Now, I'd like to turn to the research of the Open University. People don't always anticipate the size and scope of the campus in Milton Keynes because our students are, of course, all over the country. But we have a lot of different researchers working not just on writing course materials for the wonderful courses that you've studied with us, but also doing world-leading research. When we took part in the last UK exercise to assess all universities' research, it showed that nearly 3/4 of the Open University research was marked as 4 or 3 star, which means it was either considered world-leading or internationally excellent. And as well as this research fueling the interesting things that get built into your course materials, it also captures the public imagination. I may be a little biased since I am the Executive Dean of Science, Technology, Engineering and Maths, but I can't resist choosing an example from my own faculty, where we're incredibly proud of our contribution to recent space exploration. Last summer, we were part of the international team who analysed a wobble in space and discovered a new exoplanet orbiting our nearest star, Proxima Centauri. It looks like the planet may have the right conditions to support life. This could make it one of the most important scientific discoveries of all time. So as you can see, you are a member of a university that is a world leader in technology, in innovation, and in helping people to learn. And you will always be a member of the Open University family. We are a movement of millions, but we're a mission of one. And it's so fantastic to hear some of those individual stories today and see how that mission plays for each individual student and their own unique journey with the Open University. Today you join a community of OU alumni who are all around the world. The Open University has been by your side throughout your studies, and today we give you a new commitment to stay with you on your lifelong journey. We'll share with you new opportunities to study. We promise to help you develop your professional career. And as we learn more in your chosen field of study, we promise to share with you information about our latest research. Our motto on the university crest is learn and live. And that's something that all of our fantastic OU graduates embody as soon as they step back out into their busy lives. We are the people who open up the future of learning. So continue to learn, continue to live. You have proven great skills and abilities. Be confident that you can change the world around you for the better. You're part of a vast network of people who are as extraordinary as you are, so make your voice heard. You can join our alumni careers group on LinkedIn to share professional experience and make new connections with a fantastic range of people who have graduated before you and who will graduate after you. You might choose to try one of our free online courses on OpenLearn or FutureLearn. Or maybe after a pause to recover, or maybe not. The lady who told me she'd done 3 degrees did say she was signing up for a master's, but I'm assuming that most of you would want a pause to recover. You might think about continuing your studies and doing another Open University course, and we'd be delighted. You may already have been congratulated by members of our alumni team. If you didn't get the chance to meet them yet today, you'll certainly hear from them soon. They'll be in touch to tell you all about what our Alumni Association can offer, as well as ways you can give back to your university through our Open Up the Future campaign, which is helping us to open up opportunity and new lives for many more people. Because when you leave today, you become an OU ambassador. You're an ambassador for all that we stand for, those values of social justice, equality, education, and for knowledge to be open to all. There's something that makes me very proud about the fact that we've awarded our honorary graduate today to Dame Athene MacDonald, who has been such an inspiration to women in science. And it's even greater to think that there's 3 of us sat on the front row that are all female professors in science subjects. That makes me very proud. Social justice, equality, education, and knowledge open to all. Those are really important values, and you will go out there and demonstrate those to the world. Share your experience with the OU, with other people. Tell them what the journey has meant to you, and tell them what it could mean for them. I hope some of you might have seen our really inspiring TV and cinema adverts, which tragically do make me cry sometimes if I'm in a particularly hormonal moment. They bring so vividly to life the trials and the jubilation of being an OU student. I'm sure some of you will have had those experiences that are illustrated in that video. Studying in bed with a partner asleep next to you in the middle of the night, getting up early to listen to OU materials on an iPod while you go jogging, or whatever that experience may have been for you. However great that ad may be, we also know that for potential students, a word of recommendation, it is doable. It's hard, but it is doable. From a student or a graduate is far better than any commercial. You are our best advert, and I hope you leave here today genuinely proud to say that you studied with the OU. In a moment, the proceedings will end, and the ceremonial party will process out, and we'll head across to the Old Palace Gardens, and you're invited to join us there for a celebratory glass of wine, or orange juice, or whatever you would like to drink, really. I guess I can have a glass of wine this time. I didn't after the last ceremony on the basis that that could be dangerous for tonight's speech. So can I ask then, before we head across, just one last time, graduates, would you stand if you can? And we would like to give you one last huge round of applause. Congratulations. Thank you, everyone. The proceedings of this degree ceremony have been completed, and I now declare this meeting of congregation closed. Would all those who are able to stand please do so? Thank you.
Thank you.